Hello YouTube. This video will cover Game 2 of the semifinals match between Kyber and Sui in the PPL 1v1 tournament. This is a best of 3, and Sui leads the match after Game 1. It's now do or die for Kyber. Will we get to Game 3, or will Sui advance to the finals? Let's hop into the draft. Both players have a very promising selection of civs to choose from, but first they each get to ban 2 choices from their opponent's draft. Sui elects to ban Ambiorix and Shaka Zulu, while Kyber chooses to ban Poundmaker and Olympius, leaving open the Hammurabi pick that Sui had used to win the previous game. Sui, however, chooses to mix things up by selecting Qinshi Huang Unifier as his leader. To those of you who've primarily followed me for my free-for-all content, this pick may come as a surprise. While this leader is generally considered to be on the weaker end in 10-player free-for-all games, he's actually well known as a top-tier pick in duels. Unifier gains a bunch of bonuses that lean into an encampment opener, allowing him to pressure his opponent while earning great riders and getting a bunch of free Eurekas and inspirations in the process. Furthermore, this leader's great walls give a sizable amount of culture, gold, and production, allowing him to perform well even in more passive positions. On the flip side, Kyber goes for Montezuma. This leader's not too shabby in duels either, gaining a ton of extra amenities and extra combat strength on all units when attacking based on the number of unique luxury resources improved in its land. Notably, the combat bonus is limited in duels by the small map size. On duel-sized maps, there's only ever a single continent, meaning that only 4 unique luxury resources will appear on land. Ironically, the lack of luxury resources in duels is also part of what allows Aztec to shine in this format. The fact that the Civ gains extra amenities from each luxury resource it improves, and has a stronger, cheaper unique arena replacement allows for it to reach amenity breakpoints much more reliably than other Civs and 1v1s, giving a boost to all of its yields. Can Kyber claw this series back to equality and bring us to a Game 3, or will Sui clinch his spot in the PPL Finals here and now? Stay tuned to find out.
So what do we have here? What's the
We're getting a
spawns look
desync
like?
already. That's not good. But looking at the spawn quality here, Sui has a 2-3 or a 3-2 bananas in first ring, which is going to help him a lot. Doesn't really seem to have great land to his south here, but he does over here actually have an incredible city next to the Grand Mesa that he could go for. He has these 4-2-1 bananas, also has the 3-2 spices. This is just like an insanely good city right here if he's able to settle this. I believe Kyber is going to be the first player to meet a city-state here, with him about to meet Brussels. Down here, seems like Sui has met Namadal.
Okay, so CS wise, doesn't look like anything too special. Brussels is okay. Armagh, I mean, the first meet is pretty good for just getting that faith, but as the game goes, not too special.
Okay, we're gonna see neither player votes in favor of the remap. Makes sense. I mean, Kyber over here sees that he has this 2-3 deer, doesn't know anything about his opponent's spawn, knows that he first met 2 city-states. I mean, I'd be feeling okay about
So
this.
the
He
decision
even
of a
sees that he has
remap.
like this good expand over here, right? This is a very good expand for
Oh, that's
him.
great. Yeah.
With the 2-2 city center, 3-2 bananas first ring, 3-2 bananas in second ring. He's obviously going to settle right here, I believe. So yeah, it makes sense that he'd be happy with the spawn. I do think that Sui has the better of the 2 spawns. We'll see if he actually sees. Yeah, he sees this tile. He's going to settle this. There's no way he doesn't go straight for this. Any good player recognizes this is
Yeah.
kind of cracked.
Let's take a look at those at the error score, because that might also be an indicator of how many huts they have. Because we don't see every single time they get a hut. There's no indication. Whoa, what is that in Kyber? Is that a 0 I'm seeing?
Is that 0? No, he has 8. I mean,
Okay.
he starts with
Uh,
his unique Eagle Warrior. He couldn't have 0.
all right, and has not met any wonders, so he may have gotten, let's see, any other error score. Four wonder or 4 huts now. Whereas Sui has Meta Wonder first, Meta Wonder.
So he just settled the wonder. That's why he's now at 11 era score and turned 16. If I go here, we'll check the great people. The first great merchant of the game is the strongest one that can be available first. It gives the extra trade route capacity. And Kyber is almost certain to get this because he opened commercial hubs here. He is rushing straight for currency, where Sui, on the other hand, went for the encampments right away. So Kyber probably feeling pretty good about the fact that the first Great Merchant is the best one possible. Here he has God of War and Plunder, which gives +1 great general point on every encampment and +1 great merchant point on every commercial hub. So with these, he's going to get a lot of great generals. He might put some pressure onto Kyber if he's able to monopolize all of the classical era generals. We might see Kyber need to get an encampment of his own down just to ensure that he gets one of these, because there's only 4 generals per game offered at the 30 great general points price point. And if all 4 of them get taken by one player, that could be a big issue. With these 3 encampments and God of War Plunder, when they're finished, Shui's going to be on 6 great general points per turn. The government plaza actually going out in the second city from Sui. He's deciding to build the Gov Plaza in Beijing.
That's cool.
Leaving
That's kind of
open
interesting.
an option in his capital to go for a different district there. We'll see what he's planning to go here. He could be going for Colosseum again, trying to take advantage of the Magnus chops.
I think
It'll be a
is that
while.
going to be a traveling Magnus? It looks like a traveling Magnus, and then that's going to be a lot Liang 3 with the parks. That's pretty interesting. Doing a Governor's Plaza in your B2, you don't see that too often. You have to only do that in very specific scenarios, like if you have tempo that strong, where you can get everything out and you get the 7 pop quick with
Yes.
commercial.
It's very critical that you get your government plaza building finished as quickly as possible. That's why you need a very strong second city if you're planning to build it there. So
Exactly.
this is definitely an angle where it does seem viable. Over here, we see Kyber getting his commercial hubs down. He will be able to grab the Great Merchant in a little while. If we check the era score, Kyber needs to find 2 more era scores somehow. He is currently assigning Amani to Brussels. If he becomes the suzerain of the city-state, that would do it. He already has 2 envoys in it, indicating that he's finished a quest in addition to the free envoy he got from first meeting it. Let's see if anybody else has finished any city-state quests. Nobody's finished one for Armagh. And nobody finished a city-state quest for Namadal.
Oh, somebody asked. I'm actually curious too. Has Kyber or Aztec taken a pantheon yet? And what is that pantheon?
Yes, it was religious settlements. 20% extra production towards settlers, and when founding a new city, they gain extra tiles upon founding. So we'll see here, he's likely going to settle this directly on top of the rice. This will give him a 3-1 city center, and it's also going to claim extra tiles immediately upon being founded, which will be very beneficial for him. It'll claim the citrus here, and unfortunately the maize, which is not a very useful tile. The name of the game here is going to be trying to scale into the late game because of the fact that the players are so far apart. Also, bear in mind, Aztec's combat bonus is going to be capped at +5 this game because there's only 1 continent. If we go to the continent lens, that means there's only 4 different luxury resources on land plus 1 on the ocean. That means a cap of +5 from his combat bonus, although if they get a great merchant that gives them like toys or something, that also counts. So that could raise it to like +6 combat strength when attacking. Both players here are going to be making a play for a wonder. Over here, we see that Kyber already placed down the Temple of Artemis. He'll likely be going to finish that. With Brussels giving the extra production towards wonders, this is a very efficient Temple of Artemis. Makes sense that he'd want it. And on the flip side, we do see the reason that Sui did not go for the government plaza in his capital city. It was so that he could leave room to go for the Colosseum without needing to first reach 7 population to place the entertainment complex. So here, he's likely going to use the free military engineer he got from the great general he recruited earlier to chop in the city with Magnus, multiplying the yields from chops. And this will allow him to finish the entertainment complex, get started in the Colosseum shortly afterwards. He needs to build the arena as well first. It's a very well-known thing in duels that the Colosseum, if you get it, you have a very strong advantage. Over here, we see Kyber now looking to build a Colosseum of his own. His capital at 7 population also has some builders ready to chop. But yeah, we will see 2 players racing for Colosseum. Now, it should be noted the stakes are a bit higher for Sui because the arena, kind of a useless building on him. He's really all or nothing. He needs to get the Colosseum itself. Whereas on Kyber, because he's playing the Aztec, the arena is actually quite good. It has a unique arena that acts as a miniature Colosseum. It already gives +1 amenity, +1 culture on every city center within 6 tiles. So it's worth building even if you don't get the Colosseum. But I do imagine he'll want to get the Colosseum because it's still such a strong wonder, and you
Yeah.
really don't want to let your opponent get their
This
hands on it.
is this is actually one of the most important parts of the game right now.
We do see the players delaying the chops a bit. He's had the units in position to chop for a while. The reason he's delaying them is because chops actually give more yields. The more tech/civics you have completed, it scales with the exact same proportion the cost of districts scale with. So by delaying these chops for a little bit until he completes just a handful more techs or civics, he'll get like slightly more production per chop. He also may be intending to chop only the Colosseum itself rather than the arena because you can slot in a policy card here that gives 15% extra production towards wonders. That applies on the chops as well. So trying to get that multiplier on the chops by chopping towards the wonder itself rather than the arena. So we're seeing players holding off a little bit on actually clicking the chop button. So while Sui does clearly have the head start on building towards the Colosseum, Kyber does have the advantage of having Brussels over here. I believe this arena might be cheaper than a basic arena. I can check that. I think it would say something about that here. Base cost 100 production. And if I go here and check the arena, I believe this is more 150. See, so not only does this arena give more stats than a regular arena, it's also cheaper. So despite Kyber being slower to get his entertainment complex finished, he actually is still very competitive in the rush for the Colosseum, especially with this 15% extra production towards wonders from the Brussels suzerain bonus. We'll see who actually manages to get their hands on it. Let's check the great people right now. So far, we've had three great generals recruited. And it looks like Sui is going to cleanly sweep all of the early game great generals. Kyber not getting an encampment down to compete for them. So Kyber will not have access to a classical era general. They have enough
And
distance that he probably feels safe.
as you mentioned earlier, yeah, I mean at this distance, you're not too worried about classical pressure. He's not going to get punished too hard for that, or if at all. I think looking by what they're going for, this is a hardcore sim for both of them. Let's focus in on one thing. One of the most important things. What's going on with the Kalo? Did Kyber start going for it too, or is
Kyber is currently finishing his arena. He'll be able to start chopping towards it next turn. It's pretty close here. We're going to see Sui has another chop he can go for next turn with this builder. I don't think he's going to be able to get another chop.
This is both a ballsy play
turn.
for both of them. I will say it's pretty early. Still, like this is a kind of an earlier than average Kalo. Although I think in this meta you kind of have to do it like turn 42 or so, turn 43. But they were both pretty ballsy on this. Look at they went Artemis for Kyber, and Sui has Hanging Gardens. So that's not often the case. You can't normally go for multiple wonders before Kalo.
Okay, we're seeing the chops coming out here. And the Colosseum finish for Kyber. Sui missing the Colosseum over here. That puts Kyber in a pretty commanding position. He currently has a fairly large production lead. Yeah, he was able to finish chopping it in one turn.
I was surprised by that.
The reason for this, he was able to get it in just 4 chops. And this is Magnus giving 40% extra yields towards chops. It's also the fact that he was in Autocracy for 10% extra production towards wonders. He has this policy card for an additional 15%. Then he's Suzerain of Brussels for an additional 15% extra production towards wonders. All of these multipliers apply to the chops, meaning that with the production overflow from finishing his arena on the previous turn, he actually managed to get enough production to finish the Colosseum in just 4 chops.
It probably threw Sui off guard because I thought Sui was going to get it. He had it way early. He had chops too. He was prepared. But that's going to put Kyber back into the driver's seat here. Who do you think is favored now?
I'm definitely liking Kyber's position a bit more now, especially with him finishing the Colosseum. We see his 15 production more per turn. He does still currently have more envoys in city-states, I believe, because he has the first meet over here. Controls Brussels, whereas Namadal now in control of Sui. Yeah, I'm just liking his position over here. He's going to be able to go very wide and probably still hold very good amenities just because Aztec already getting so many amenities from their civ bonuses, having the Colosseum and the unique arena here. And it just hurts Sui so much because he already committed so much towards this Colosseum, right? He spent a lot of chops on it, so it's a lot of value that it's getting wasted. Sui also has more cities settled at the moment. He has 7 cities with an 8th settler currently moving into position. On the flip side, Khyber still on 4 cities with 2 settlers moving around. Definitely going to want more settlers in this. He has enough amenities to support a fairly large empire, has plenty of space. So we will be seeing how many cities he chooses to go for. We're already seeing a theater square being built over here from Khyber. I believe both players finished feudalism a couple turns ago, both of them researching civil service. So we are going to see a ton of builders, as you usually do. Once you get to feudalism, you get the serfdom policy card, you spam out a bunch of builders because they're just crazy efficient at this stage of the game. Sui getting some era score for having the first city in the world to reach 10 population. If we go to the era score here, we can see Sui already has it secured. Khyber still needs to generate 4 more. Does have 4 turns left. That is doable. He'll have to figure out where he's getting it. He can get some from recruiting great people. Could make the first unit that requires horses, first unit that requires iron, boat. Like, there's plenty of ways for him to generate 4 era score in 4 turns. I assume they will pay enough attention to do that. We can see here the Great Walls being built. Very nice tile improvements, giving it a lot of yields. Yeah, I do think that Kyber here still has slightly commanding position in the sim, although Sui again building this road with this military engineer, and now he has the trebuchet, which was afforded to him by another great general that instantly creates a trebuchet when activated. However, Kyber, just in the nick of time, he recruits his own great general. He ran some projects in order to get enough points to recruit that. He's likely going to build some military units and be prepared for this. Sui, looks like fairly non-committal. Like, he just has a couple of horsemen here and a trebuchet. He's just trying to like see if he can cheese against Khyber with like a small invasion force. I want to point out the districts that are in the city with the Oracle, because the Oracle gives great person points based on the districts in the city. He has it in the Theater Square city. He's currently has a campus, a theater square, and a commercial hub, and he's placing down an encampment here. So that shows he wants an encampment in the Oracle city. He wants some more passive great general points because there's so much pressure on the generals from Sui here. Right? Sui with God of War and Plunder is on 11 great general points per turn right now. And with the Oracle finishing, if he builds this encampment here, he'll immediately go from 2 great general points per turn up to 5, which will
And
make
you
it
got to think, what is,
much easier.
what are they
for
doing?
him.
What are they thinking right now? Like, it was just look at the generals. That's a whole like mind game right there. It's going to make Kyber feel a lot more pressured. And Sui has some units to back it up. So is Kyber going to respond to this? Is he going to try to start building a lot more defense? He's probably thinking he doesn't want to overbuild defense either. So he's really reading the numbers now, looking at every single point that milli score goes up. You don't see it till the turn after, so sometimes it's hard to react. You kind of have to really look at every single turn, at the great person points, at the milli score, at what districts they're building, because it's hard to tell sometimes, and it's just 1 or 2 turns where you're not preparing could mean devastating loss.
Okay, World Congress coming through. Sui managed to get an extra trade route capacity. He won the tiebreaker on the first vote. Second vote, it seems like Khyber won the tiebreaker here. Managed to deny the suzerain bonus of Namadal. So for the next 20 turns, Namadal will not provide its suzerain bonus. And the final vote, getting some extra diplomatic victory points over to Sui. So Sui winning 2 of the 3 tiebreakers. Khyber winning 1. Yeah. So he will have that extra trade route capacity, but no longer gets the Namadal suzerain bonus. I don't think he was getting much value out of it anyway. He has like 1 district next to coast or lake. I would like to point out that the players have entered their second golden ages. Both players managed to hit it. Kyber here going for Pembrush and Voice again, getting some extra culture for every district. Meanwhile, on the other hand, Sui here actually going for Drums of War. Now, this makes perfect sense on Unifier. Unifier gets plus 50% extra production towards encampment buildings, And Drums of War gives you +1 production for every encampment and every building you have inside of an encampment. So that's going to be a lot of extra production coming his way from the Golden Age dedication. Additionally, he gets extra production towards military units, extra strategic resources, extra culture whenever he wins a combat victory. And here, things are finally heating up. He's currently hitting Armagh with his trebuchet. Don't know whether he intends to actually kill Armagh, or seems like he was just farming XP. He wants to get closer to a promotion on his trebuchet. Here we can see he prioritizes killing the units. Kyber, currently 1 turn away from getting stirrups. He has all of these heavy chariots in position. He'll be able to upgrade them to knights next turn. We'll see if Sui's able to claim any crucial tiles around the city center. He needs to be able to get at least like 2 tiles next to the city center, and then he needs to be able to get the trebuchet in range to shoot at it. If he can do that, he will be able to whittle down the city here. But Kyber seems to have quite a few units prepared here. We'll see if does he have enough gold to upgrade the knights? Yes. He has 400 gold in the bank. So he is well primed next turn when he unlocks stirrups to upgrade all of these heavy chariots to knights. He currently has intel on opponents' movements at the moment. He may have completed printing or gotten a spy. Let me see what he did. He has an intel agency here, so I believe he just has a spy. Yeah. On the flip side, Sui finishing his intelligence agency this turn, so it'll
And
take him
where is my
another
favorite wonder of all time? Is
3 turns
Terracotta
here.
being placed anywhere? Because
Uh,
that's gonna the synergy with that and spies is really the reason why I go Terracotta. It's very hard to get level 2 spies without that. Ideally, you want at least 2 spies to level up from that Terracotta, or you're not really getting much value. So, yeah, let's take a look where that placement would be. And by the way, there's a Russian for any Russian speakers on Herson's stream. There's Valenchik. He's streaming as well with Broccoli. We do want streams in every language. We could even use some French streams too. But we're growing, so we'll take some time on the co-casts.
Okay, while the war front remains pretty heated, I do want to call attention to the fact that there might be something pretty important happening with the merchants here, because the best merchant in the game, potentially, for duels, the one that gives extra gold on every internal trade route for the rest of the game, could be offered at any moment here, once this one's gone. So we'll see what Sui's decision is. Kyber is already past the one that gives an extra governor title, likely looking for the internals merchant or the one that adds a trade route capacity. Both could be offered next. So yeah, we will see what happens there. We see here Kyber successfully repelled the attack, Sui being forced to retreat his units, his spy finally showing up, but a bit too late. He will have a Diplovis advantage in a turn with sprinting finishing first. He is deciding to go for Armagh, might end up just killing it. Getting rid of it so that Kyber can't get the extra diplomatic favor from controlling the city-state. Kyber leading in production, slightly more science, slightly more culture. Players have around the same gold per turn. The merchants did go, and it looks like Sui decided to take the merchant that gives an extra trade route capacity, which opened up Kyber to take the one that gives extra gold on internal trade routes. So Kyber will now be gaining +1 gold for each specialty district at the destination on all internals, likely sending them all to his Magna City, which has both the Gov Plaza and the Diplomatic Quarter here. Yeah. And there goes Armagh. It has been finished off. This flanking courser tried to get in and get some sneaky pillages, but it will also be taken down by Kyber.
So let's take a look back at the yields. I know Kyber does have the Prodley. I want to look at the gold too, because he is a commercial civ. He probably has the GPT.
Currently, actually, Sui leading in gold per turn of 68, whereas Kyber is on 58. I think that a large part of that is that Kyber is paying more maintenance costs. He's actually has more living military
He's got
units
knights,
now.
crossbowmen. I mean, that's 3 and 4
Also,
gold.
Great Walls giving a lot of gold, actually. We might have been sleeping on this a bit, but the Great Wall is giving 2 gold each when they are next to 2 other Great Walls. That adds up over the span of the Empire. One thing I'd like to call attention to here, Kyber getting the maximum value possible out of the Oracle, showing that he knows how to use this wonder. He put it in the city, then built a ton of farms to try to grow its population. The Oracle gets more value the more districts you can get down here. The city already has an encampment a commercial hub, a theater square, a campus, and now it is finishing industrial zone. So that'll be 5 specialty districts over here, each one giving extra great person points from the Oracle. He doesn't have the governor titles to spare, it seems, to go for Pingala, which would double the passive great person points generated in the city. But still trying to get as much value out of the Oracle as he can outside of that. Brussels here, this could actually swing the game quite a bit if Dewey is able to kill Brussels. Currently, Kyber, not only is he getting value out of this 15% extra production towards Wonders, if we go in here into his government, he's also getting 25 gold per turn from Merchant Confederation. This is something you actually feel when you lose a city-state like this in a duel. If he loses this, that's going to be 25 gold per turn that he's no longer going to have from that policy card. And that actually feels kind of bad. They're currently roughly even in gold per turn, but it would swing quite heavily in Sui's favor if this city-state dies.
This is what I'm talking about. You're kind of counting that Sui, but there's little things that could change a bit of the game. What are the other reasons why Kyber? You said the Great Wall is giving him gold to Sui, but what are the reasons why is Kyber not generating that much gold? Is it because they just too many units, or does his adjacencies, his commercial adjacencies, not too great?
I believe it's mostly just the unit maintenance costs and the like right now. We're gonna see here. This is fairly impactful. Like,
what does the vision look like? Because positionally, Kyber seems way out of position for this.
Well, Kyber has vision of
come down
everything
to it.
Brussels sees, as you can see, because he's suzerain of it. Sui, on the other hand, only sees what his units can see. I don't think this is quite enough here. Courser's taking way too much damage when slamming this. The city center strength of city-states is increased by 1 for every envoy sent to them. So because this, he took the promotion on Amani that gives doubled envoys in the city-state here. The final promotion that this governor unlocks. And he sent 15 envoys here, right? So that's doubled to 30 right now by the promotion. That's 30 extra combat strength in the city center.
But does that 30 extra combat strength happen immediately? Because I don't really... it's next turn, I assume, or is it immediate?
I do not know if it's immediate, but the point is, it definitely has a lot of combat strength.
Yeah,
You'll see
wow.
Namadal down here has
64.
46. This has 64.
Yeah,
The
that's
difference
not
in the
going down.
envoys.
So, okay, Molly big, he says next turn. But 1 turn has already passed, so yeah, that city is not dying to a couple coursers.
So yeah, seems Kyber's decision here to go for the promotion to double the envoys assigned to the city-state paying off. It might be the only reason the city-state survived. Like, what I might have done here would be to go for Oracle Pingala. You have this city over here with Oracle. You might want to spend 2 envoys on Pingala to double the great person points it generates. But if he had done that, maybe Brussels actually dies, because it wouldn't be getting that extra 15 combat strength in the city center from that final promo on Amani. So, well done from Kyber to make that decision.
This is high-level play.
Terracotta being built by both players, by the way, over here. Currently, Sui in the lead. No, actually, it's like tied, but Sui has a chop available, so I believe Sui is likely to get it here because he'll probably contribute this chop to Terracotta.
This is way more important. Another big game defining. There's a lot going on for them.
Campus research grants coming out over here. The Renaissance era great scientists are up. There are some extremely important great scientists.
He might have a spy traveling too. I don't know if that was the case too. But anyway,
Terracotta Army is being finished. It did finish this now. I saw all the promotions come through.
Massive. Yeah, massive. That's this game has been swapping back and forth. We thought Sui was in the lead at first. He has a better spawn. Then Kyber got Kahlo. He got Artemis. He was coming back. And, we thought Kyber's going to win. But now Subi with that Terracotta, this is really close. I'm not sure who's winning right now.
Yeah, somebody asked about culture victory because I saw a little pop-up that said somebody's culture has become dominant over yours. That's because I'm a spectator. As a spectator, you only need to generate 1 tourist, and then you're dominant over the 2 spectators. Neither player anywhere close to culture victory. Nothing to worry about there. James of St. George being recruited. I believe that was the first great engineer of the game. Instantly builds ancient medieval walls. Aztec over here, Kyber on 10 engineer points per turn, whereas Sui is only on 3. We'll see who manages to get control of the Wonder production engineers. We can see here a bunch of cavalry, by the way, the first industrial era units of the game coming out. Meanwhile, Kyber here, researching gunpowder. I don't believe he has any industrial era units of his own. So yeah, he is going to be at a bit of a disadvantage there. But we'll see if Sui is actually able to find a way to push through here. The difference between cavalry and knights not super huge. It's only a difference of 12 combat strength base. So despite being from a later game
And
era, it's
does
not free.
Kyber, I mean, Sui does have a general with those cavalry as well. And Kyber, I see one general with him. And that's a lot of space to cover with one general. I think you kind of need two generals for that many units on Kyber's side.
Well,
At
you
least
need a
two.
general that actually works on industrial era. This one does not. I don't know if he actually managed to get a general that works on these. Yeah, he has not recruited a great general that actually works on industrial era units yet. So at the moment, these cavalry are operating with no great general. And we can see here, he actually passed the first one here from the Renaissance era. So he's planning to double take
He wants to take all
in
the
a moment.
industrial generals.
They'll be
Yeah.
cheaper next turn. We'll see. Did
That
he hit
might
his golden
be
age?
a play to win, too. That might be another.
He did. Sui hit his golden age. Kyber hit a dark age. So Sui does have an advantage here. Hitting a dark age, preferable to a normal age because you get the heroic age afterwards. And the loyalty pressure, not really a factor.
So what are the cards you could use in Dark Age now? Is there any benefits besides the Heroic Age next era? Is there any benefits to Kyber?
I believe the only policy card that you'd want to use at this stage of the game is one that gives +5 combat strength on melee combat units, but prevents them from healing outside of friendly territory. So that will be
Yeah,
an
I think so
option.
too. There's also the isolationism card now. I don't think you would probably use that. Like food, the food is probably sort of worthless now, and it gives you a little bit of prod. But there's other cards you need in that wild card slot.
Sui actually electing to use his cavalry power spike to try to push up against Brussels. And it seems like Kyber was somewhat unprepared for this. He doesn't have that many military units up here. So we'll see if he's able to make a breakthrough here. He'll want to get a general that can actually work on these units here. He has the opportunity to recruit one, of course. The Forbidden City finishing in 2 turns here, not going to be contested. That definitely does go over to Kyber.
This looks like we're gonna probably fight to the end, and Sui's on the attack, so he's gonna go is it called Ritualist Arms?
Yeah, he has to arms, and Kyber is currently in a Dark Age, so he doesn't get a Golden Age dedication. He has to arms himself, but it just gives era score when you're in a Dark Age, nothing else.
I don't think is he gonna be able to kill him now, or is he gonna wait till fascism to actually take him out?
He's definitely not looking to kill him. We can see here that he seems to be trying to use this advantage of the military units to try to push through and kill Brussels, seemingly recognizing that he doesn't have enough of an advantage to make a play on Kyber himself. And we do see Kyber, his culture of return dropped considerably when the era rolled over. This is because Kyber was in Pembrush and Voice, and now he doesn't have that anymore, where Sui was generating all of his culture the old-fashioned way, so his culture didn't drop at all when the era rolled over. Yeah, 74 strength Brussels. Yeah, it does hurt quite a bit to slam into this, but if you have enough of these units and you have this trebuchet shooting at it, like Brussels could still go down here unless Kyber responds. I do think Kyber will be able to respond well enough to prevent Brussels from eating the dust here. Currently, this general, the one that actually works on cavalry, is not there yet. Once it gets up here, these cavalry will hit a lot harder. Look at that +5 combat strength. This general, too primitive to actually function with these advanced military units.
A little curious. That wall, has he hit that Brussels yet? But it does it have a chance of actually rebuilding on its own in a certain number of turns.
I do not know how recently he hit Brussels. It can repair its city defenses as soon as it hasn't been
It's
hit
got
for
a
5 turns.
crossbowman,
But yeah, it's queuing up a crossbowman, so it's not going to be repairing it this turn. You can see
and
here it does hurt quite a bit.
how much gold is that gonna take away from Kyber? Is it gonna be any? Has he shifted to all internals now, or?
So Kyber here, if we check his policy cards, he still has Merchant Confederation in. That's +1 gold per envoy.
That's what it is. Yeah.
And if you see here, he has 45 envoys here. So that is giving him 45 gold per turn. Or 44, sorry. 45 is how much I would need to become suzerain. He has 44 envoys in here. So he is going to lose a lot of gold per turn if the city state goes down. Kyber building some universities. The great scientists are going. Isaac Newton going over to Sui. Galileo going over to Kyber. Ibn Khaldun up for grabs. Either player, are they going to run some projects for him? We
What's
do
the
see,
amenities looking though? Like, is
well,
Kyber? I assume his amenities are way better.
yes, I mean, with the Colosseum, with the Aztec bonus, he is ecstatic in every single city. On the flip side, Sui actually just content. Doesn't even have happy
You could see the
any of
scale.
the
That's the
cities.
scaling of Kylo. It's very strong here. This is the type of game where it really shows itself. Uh, also, 8 city. Okay. Look,
Oh, and Brussels
Brussels
does
going
go
down.
down. That is going to hurt Kyber quite a bit. Yeah, no longer has control of Brussels. No longer gets that gold per turn from that policy card.
But he does have gold to upgrade. What's his? He just ran out.
If
I
we
assume, but
look,
he does
yeah,
have the.
he's
He does have the
currently
Cuirassiers.
at 209 in the bank after he upgraded these cuirassiers. And if we look at his yield, it's down to 12 gold per turn. The maintenance costs, of course, going up when he upgrades, in addition to losing the gold per turn from the envoys. Kyber finishing military science, Sui finishing ballistics. This will put them neck and neck. Kyber already has ballistics, Sui already has military science. You can tell by the fact that they're fielding cuirassiers and cavalry against each other. So yeah, both players neglecting industrialization, both players rushing up towards the or rushing down towards the bottom end of the tree to try to get combustion. Ibn Khaldun going the way of Kyber, that is very huge for him. He does have ecstatic in every city, so this upgrades the yield multiplier granted by amenities from getting 16% extra all yields to getting 24% extra all yields. He did just recruit both Filippo Brunelleschi and Leonardo da Vinci. That is huge. So getting both of the highest quality great engineers from the Renaissance era. I think that he does have good odds of like getting ahead here by using these great engineers. Now, I believe that if you build Mausoleum at Halicarnassus, you get the charges on your engineers retroactively. So I think it's honestly a good angle here to try to look at getting Celestial Navigation. We see it. Kyber is picking up Celestial Navigation. He's going to want a harbor. He's going to build Mausoleum at Halicarnassus using one of these engineers, which will retroactively give a charge to all of the living ones. He really wants this for like Leonardo da Vinci. He's currently going to give +3 culture to every workshop, but if he saves him until he gets Mausoleum for the extra charge, he can activate this twice and get +6 culture per workshop in his empire. And if he gets that, that almost closes the gap on its own between the two players' culture. You can
So what
definitely
he
see
needs to,
here, like you can see what Kyber's thinking here, by the way, because he's building the harbor in this city. He has this engineer plopped here. This is clearly going to build the Mausoleum at Halicarnassus on this tile. It's the only tile you
wow.
can because it's flat, right? It has to be. Actually, I think it can be on a hill tile. Now that I think about it, it just has to be Axo Arbor. Yeah. So, yeah, he's going to build on this flat tile. Already going for Oxford again.
Oh,
Has
so
this engineer here.
that's such a that's multiple levels right there. It's a rush to tanks for Kyber. He needs to get to tanks. If Sui does and he gets fascism, he's done for. So how is he going to do it? The Oxford. To get to Oxford, how are you going to get that? You need the Wonder Engineers. If you have a double up Wonder Engineer, he can maybe get that in a few turns. So that's one route. What are the engineers coming up?
So he already has Filippo Brunelleschi, he already has Leonardo da Vinci, he already has Imhotep. All of the good
What
engineers
is
have been
the
taken.
Okay, maybe I'm lost. What is the mausoleum for?
The mausoleum works retroactively on all living engineers.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I don't
So there
know
you
if you
go.
knew that.
That's
Not every
I
player
had
knows
no
that, but
idea.
it's a big
I
it's a
had
big deal.
that's not intuitive. Okay.
Yeah. That's why he's not spending. Leonardo da Vinci has been AFK for like 3 turns. He's waiting until the mausoleum finishes because he wants to get the extra
Oh,
charge.
okay.
This is
So that
his.
went from like I never okay. Now mausoleum is good. I never understood that because I always
Yeah.
had to save my engineer.
Yeah, we have Galileo here right now, sitting here. Oh, it is spotted, by the way, by Sui. He can see the Galileo chilling. This is the only spot where you can get it adjacent to 3 mountains. So if Sui actually noticed that when he moved his cavalry here, it would be a very smart play to just step on this Galileo, deny the value from being next to 3 mountain tiles. Kyber currently wants to wait until he spent his science overflow before activating Galileo because he just picked up celestial navigation, he just picked up shipbuilding. and you lose all of that extra science overflow when you activate Galileo. It's a known bug. It's just not fixed. If you use the scientist, all unspent science overflow is deleted. Oh my god, that is not good. As I mentioned earlier, Kyber activating, he's used both charges of his Leonardo da Vinci now, and you see his culture return went from around 110 to 170, catching him up most of the way back to Sui. But Sui did spend a lot of time for a while there with higher culture return, so he does have more progress in the civics tree. You can see here, Sui already has mobilization finish. He's about to finish mass media. On the flip side, Kyber doesn't have mobilization yet. I don't think he has natural history either. So Kyber is quite a ways away from ideology.
Something that Herson was telling me, so that he thinks he underestimated, was really those military academies, building your corps or your armies
Did I ever say I
for
underestimated that?
Oh no, not you. Alcide.
Okay.
Alcide did, and he said he really likes doing that now, versus building with singles because it's much more efficient.
Oxford was finished,
Shoot.
by the way.
Okay, that's more important. But
it actually granted, I believe it gave him industrialization because last turn he researched rifling, and then he finishes Oxford and he gets industrialization from it. You could see all the mines instantly got it.
It didn't complete steel, which he had a lot of science in already. So that's good for Sui, or no, that's good for Kuiper.
He's actually going to get to combustion around the same time as Sui, thanks to Oxford University giving some solid rolls and Galileo giving a ton of science when activated. He was able to go all the way up here for industrialization without slowing down how quickly he gets to combustion. Or rather, still being able to keep pace with Sui.
I'm leaning towards Kyber for this. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm definitely leaning towards Kyber at this point. You have to think about the fact that, one, Sui is on negative 10 gold per turn now. He's like making pre-builds in every single city. Another thing to think about that we haven't talked about for a while, the fact that if we look at the eras, Kyber's going into heroic age next era. In 4 turns, he enters a heroic age because he's in dark, whereas Sui is already in golden. He might not even hit a golden age on era rollover. So Kyber is about to feel very strong with that heroic age, getting 3 golden age dedications.
He has artillery and he probably has the card for it as well.
He has the observation balloon general. I think he'll probably pop that, given that he spent all of his gold upgrading artillery. You see here, he actually spent down to like 30 gold just upgrading artillery.
And will he have fascism possibly? Probably not, right?
He's still a ways away. He's deciding to go for opera and
so he's going to do attack now because he sees what we see. He sees that he's kind of going a little bit behind and he has to do something.
So I think what I would do here, he wants to use this to get an observation balloon, attack with these artillery and this general here, using it for the passive effect, and try to like rush this down really quickly. He might not be expecting 4 artillery armies to show up with an observation balloon. This city will like melt in an instant, steel or no steel. So Kyber might think that he has a bit more time, might be waiting for the actual tanks. He can see from the city center strength that Sui doesn't have tanks. You can see that he has 48 gold. He might be feeling safe. And Sui, on the other hand, might be thinking, ooh, I can cheese him by just shooting him with a bunch of artillery. You can see here the line forming. Kyber, you want to be proactive on Aztec. On most civs, like, you really like to just fortify and let them slam into you a lot of the time, but on Aztec, your combat bonus only works if you're the one declaring the attacks. Like, when the opponent declares an attack on you, you don't get that combat strength from luxuries that you control. And so we're going to see Kyber try to be proactive and take slams himself, rather than just fortifying in place, perhaps. So we will see exactly how this goes. These artillery coming in, shooting. We look here at the text, combustion in 1 turn for Sui, combustion in 2 turns for Kyber. Religion coming through. What is this belief? Holy waters and Zen meditation. Defender of the Faith is a banned belief. It's the only belief that you're not allowed to pick in duels in this format. So we're seeing Holy Waters instead, which is a slightly worse replacement, but still solid. Plus 20 healing per turn for any unit that's fortified in that city at the end of the turn. Ideally, he wants to get on here and pillage some tiles here. If he can get some extra gold, yeah, these pillages help immensely because he just unlocked tanks, right? He wants to get these pillages, upgrade a tank, and send it in there to attack. Here, the artillery, shooting from 3 tiles away thanks to the observation balloon. And all 4 artillery are fired.
And let's count the turns to fascism. So 2 to ideology, and I assume either 2 to 3 more to fascism. Maybe, yeah, probably 3. So that's 5 turns total. That's still a little bit away. But once he does get it, he probably has, 8 turns of fascism until Kyber gets his. But obviously the problem is he doesn't have too many units. He doesn't have gold to upgrade. I do think Sui might still be in this though. Everyone's just saying Kyber's got this, but Sui's going to be able to hard build at a more efficient rate. He has a few. Yeah.
You have to bear in mind, not only do you get the 50% extra production towards all units in fascism, you also need ideology if you want to get the production card for tanks. So he's getting like effectively, I think these stack multiplicatively, so it's like more than 100% extra production towards tanks compared to Kyber. So despite Kyber,
I think it's the opposite effect. I think it's the opposite
additive.
Effect,
if it's additive, then he's just getting exactly 100% extra production towards tanks.
Someone fact check that. I think it's actually not even additive. That would be like 75% more.
Backwards multiplicative? I don't think that's even a thing.
I think, okay, I'm not, look, there's a method to this, okay? I know, so what, yeah, no one knows? So for fascism, 50% extra production towards his tanks, plus 50% from the ideology. What is the...
This is looking bad for Sui here, by the way. You can see here the tanks coming out from Kyber. He actually had gold to upgrade tanks. The problem is with Sui spending all of his gold upgrading artillery, he doesn't actually have any front line to protect them. So he really needed to burst down a city before Kyber got to tanks. That's kind of his only way to get through this. I think maybe he thought that he could get away with it because he saw Kyber went all the way for industrialization. Maybe forgetting about how powerful Galileo can be in getting to tanks this quickly, because without like Galileo, without Oxford University, Kyber actually would have been very far away from getting tanks. But with Galileo, with Oxford giving a good role, he was able to get the tanks around the same time as Sui, despite teching industrialization first. And this clearly, Sui was not prepared to be facing tanks this early. Like, he would have prepared tanks of his own if he had thought this would be the case. So we're also seeing very low gold return in science. Maybe his amenities dropped really low from war wariness. If I check here, yeah, here we see massive war wariness in all of his cities, -6 amenities. The only reason his stats would drop so low. And this is not good. What is it? This merchant, by the way, does actually give +1 combat strength on attack for Aztec for the rest of the game, but I think he might have passed it. Maybe thinking that he wants Mary Catherine Goddard more. One that gives the extra level of Diploviz with the other player. That would be +3 combat strength for the rest of the game, and it works on attack and defense. It's not conditional like Aztec, where you only get the combat bonus when attacking. Bunch of artillery coming out from Kyber here, by the way. The fact that he's building so much artillery tells me he's not just planning to, like, fend off this attack. He's planning to launch a counterattack of his own, and I think that it has a chance of working, although Sui here will have fascism quite a bit before Kyber. He's already working on totalitarianism. Kyber, on the other hand, still needs to get mass media. See the difference here. But yeah, I think Sui might lose too many units here. These tanks have incredibly good combat evaluations against these cuirassiers. And if Sui ends up just bleeding like most of his military force here, then even with fascism, he'll just be forced to be stuck on the defense until Kyber gets fascism on his own. Like, Kyber can keep up the offensive for long enough to catch up, I think. Kyber, of course, by the way, he entered his heroic age. This happened like a few turns ago, I think. I forgot to talk about this. But here we have a dark age for Sui, and on the flip side, we have Kyber in a heroic age. Up this. Yeah, you can see this evaluation is not good. Kyber has to arms, guys and stars, and bodyguard of lies. Sui, finishing. He just finished totalitarianism. He can now enter into fascism. He can get that extra +5 combat strength in all of his units for what good it'll do him.
But he has that. He's got army cuirassiers up in front. He wants to save them, and he has it next turn or this turn.
He has it this turn. He just got fascism.
Okay.
So as you can see now, his cuirassiers absolutely chewing through these tanks like nothing. That's the power of fascism right there.
Oh wow.
No, I'm kidding. I'm being sarcastic.
Yeah, he didn't get any. Yeah, he didn't get any pillages off. There's no way to upgrade him, so he's just kind of last ditch effort. Maybe trying to shoot them with artillery, but with fascism, he's gonna maybe kill one or two, but it's not gonna be enough.
You can see here, he has the policy card in for 50% production towards all cavalry units. He has the 50% extra production towards them from just having fascism baseline.
Okay, so what's the math? Can we see it?
Well, I don't...
I think you're all wrong. I think, yeah, okay.
Currently, by the way, despite the production multipliers from Sui, it's helping him keep up right now. But Kyber has almost 300 more production per turn. Like, his production is like 1.5 times higher. More than 1.5 times higher. Almost 2 times. So Kyber here, still able to keep up in production of units almost. Despite not having access to the policy card that lets him build tanks more efficiently. Despite not having the plus 50% production towards units from fascism.
Okay. By the way, I confirm that the production card plus the production from fascism, it's additive, so it would be 100%.
Got it. And when these tanks slam into each other directly, there is a slight advantage for Sui on account of having fascism right now. He gets that +5 combat strength. We can see here this artillery, by the way, with 5 promotions, has +1 range, plus 17 combat strength when attacking land units on the whole. This thing hurts quite a bit. It kind of sucks that it doesn't have an observation balloon anymore, though. That's a big bummer. War Department coming out here. City not having great production. 5 turns on War Department. You don't like to see that. War Department, of course, giving 30 HP healing whenever one of your units eliminates an enemy unit. Very good Gov Plaza building. Biplanes coming out. This is going to make it impossible for Sui to break through here. Planes can only be damaged by other planes, and once you deploy them on a tile, land units cannot pass through that tile anymore. I'd like to point out that there are 2 Wonder production engineers over here. Both of these contribute production towards Wonders. They're just sitting AFK. Not many Wonders to build at this stage of the game. More trades coming in here. Oh, and that was the heavily promoted... No, that was not the promoted artillery. I thought that was the one with 5 promos that just died. Oh, now it died. Yeah, there goes the 5 promo artillery. That feels very bad for Sui to lose that. That has got to be demoralizing to no longer have such a strong unit. And Kyber, or sorry, I believe that was Sui typing GG. Yes, that makes Kyber the victor of game 2. The best of 3 is now tied up 1-1, and we will be going to a game 3 in the semifinals. Let me see if we can interview the players. Well, GG, everyone.
GG's.
Nice game you played there. Any ideas, any thoughts on that game? I noticed that Sui here went for a bunch of artillery upgrades and tried to push in. Were you expecting the tanks to arrive a bit later from Kyber than they ended up showing up?
I don't know.
Why do you skip Toys Merchant? What the fuck?
I don't know, I'm stupid, man.
Yeah, skipping
Thinking
Toys
about
Merchant
this
on
one,
Aztec is a
like-
bit weird.
Yeah. I realized that after I did, but it was too late.
I was too greedy at the start. I chop hanging.
This was, yeah, but hey, Kyber went Artemis. You both were greedy, but that was amazing, by the way. Like the whole game, there was close, like very close points where it was swung in one direction, and then Sui was winning, Kyber was winning. It was honestly a great game.
Yeah, intense game, intense game.
I don't know. I thought I was gonna win from the draft, but then I see the guy has more stats than me in drums. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
Well, to be
Nice.
fair,
Sui had a very
could
good
have
spawn.
Imba Great Wall
Um,
and Imba
We had a
Boulder.
great spawn. The Wonderman distance was amazing tempo. Your spawn was okay, Kuiper, but you kind of had to work up. Once you got Artemis and Kalo, though, most people in Herson's chat were like, "Oh, this game's over," and that did help you a lot. Like you were on +5 amenities. He was on, I think, 0 for a lot of the game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I
What
still take
Sui here?
public
What was
race.
his thought process?
on what exactly?
No.
No, Sui. Like, did you think you were in the lead for most of the game? Did it switch back and forth?
No, I think Amenity is too OP. I can't do anything with it. Maybe I can make +3, but it's kind of hard with Aqua Park
Yeah,
and
exactly. Kalo is OP too, and I
Did you
think
try for Colosseum?
yeah. I chop it
Yeah.
in capital, but I
Chop
lose
first
two.
hanging is mistake. Big
Yeah.
mistake.
I lose 2 good chops, and like I chop it turn in turn with you, but I have bad chops.
With Culture
and
Wonder,
not
you must
trust me.
chop it much earlier than him.
Still, I don't know.
It's on 4 pop in capital, right? Entertainment.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I built the plaza in Second City.
yeah. I saw.
Yeah, it looked like Sui was going to get it at first, but then because Kyber, you have a cheaper arena, the Aztec arena costs 25 less production on online speed than the basic arena. And then additionally, you had Brussels, so you were able to finish Galo in just 4 chops, 0 to 100.
Yeah.
So yeah, you were able to snipe him on it. I think he was like another turn away.
Did Amani for Golden? What kind of game is this?
On Aztec.
Yeah, on Aztec. I don't know. I think I just didn't meet Wonders. I
Uh,
second met your
I have
Wonder
one.
and
Only 2 Wonder on the map.
Yeah.
shouldn't it
Is
be
the
3?
reason.
Or
Yeah.
no?
Yeah.
Okay.
I
Two
see
Wonder and
Great
Boston
Mesa.
Seven.
I see Great Barrier Reef. Don't see another. What
No, I don't
might
know.
actually be 2.
They put preset.
No, I can't find it.
All right. Well, good game. See you guys tomorrow for the game 3 of the semifinals.
Okay, see you tomorrow then.
Yes,
Yep,
8 a.m.
see you tomorrow.
Okay, guys.
Yep.
GG.
See you
See
guys.
ya.
Bye bye.